want to start with how much I've really been enjoying your work. And it's fantastic in this movie, and I just appreciate what you're doing.
Oh, thanks, man. Thank you. That means a
Um,
lot.
I have a ton of questions about a variety of subjects, so
Hey,
here we go. If someone has actually never seen anything that you've done before, what is the first thing you want them watching and why?
you know what? This one, Banshees, because yeah, it's truly like such a it's in I just said there in an interview that it was kind of it's nice to get to play a character that has such an innocent and honest and truthfully, demeanor about him, rather than the sinister kind of thing that we're kind of used to. And it's actually, I think, harder to play that as well, to be nice and naive and innocent.
I'm curious, what of the roles you've done, which is the one that you prepared for the most before filming began, obviously?
Oh, there's a level of prep that I do on every film. Given there's a moleskins involved, which I write down some character questions, and I used to get my granny to write character questions. I'd say, look, pretend you don't know this person. I want you to list a bunch of questions, and I'm going to answer them. And then I'd have an element of images and kind of drawings around that time, and kind of an image board. And then I'd kind of have a moleskin book on, experiences that relate to my experiences, character experiences that are similar to mine. So I could kind of draw from that. And then chuck it all out the window. But the one I done the most would be probably the one I just finished, which is Saltborn, which Emerald Fennell directed. But between that and Martin's and Yorgos's film, I think.
I'm so curious because, again, I am a big fan of your work. If you have a huge scene on a Monday, it's going to be emotional or dramatic, or it's really a scene that you want to deliver on. How
Mhm.
early on are you preparing for that scene? Is it like, weeks out you're thinking about it, or do you like hyper focus on Saturday?
I mean, you're always kind of thinking of these things when you get the schedule. You're like, all right, when's that scene? Okay, cool. But I tend not to focus on it too much because I really do like to be, spontaneous. I really do like to try. And again, I may be sounding so ridiculous here, but react. You can't prep how you're gonna react. And that for me is, it's just all about go in and just, if there's certain things you have to hit, like a certain mark and etc., well, then you'll rehearse that. But in terms of how I'm going to react, I don't like to preempt. I like it to be fresh and real and, and behave if I can. So I tend not to focus too much on these heavy scenes and just know what I'm doing and, show up and throw it all out the window. Sometimes when I throw it all out the window, I actually forget what I'm supposed to say. I throw it that much out the window.
It's
No,
so
no,
funny that
it's
it's funny because I've spoken to a lot of actors, and some will talk about how exactly what you said, where they don't want to have any emotion before they step on set, and others who are hyper like rehearsals will
Mhm.
start at the months out. They'll start thinking about every aspect. So it's just so interesting how there's no right way to get to where
There
you
is,
need to be.
and again, even with methods and, and you hear this person is a method actor and that person's a method actor. I mean, I have it written on my phone and I have my book, my diary, and it's called My Method. And that's what I go by is my method, what works for me. And that's the way I've always done it. I don't want to be out there trying to be like so and so or like so and so here. They've done it. They've done it their way, and that's how they are where they are. I want to do it my way, and that I don't even know what that is.
Sure.
That's what I mean. That is, I don't think anyone kind of knows what they do, and you don't want to know what you are doing, and you want to kind of keep it fresh and learn and fail, and so yeah, if all that makes sense.
No, 100. It's how you
I'm
get there.
contradicting myself over and over again, though.
No, I totally get it. I heard you were a big fan of Martin's work, and you had
Mhm.
a picture of him on your phone. And so, what did it mean to you to actually, have him say, "Hey, I want you for this"?
It was, it's insane how the law of attraction works. And I'm not one of these who, like, picture a car and you'll get the car, or that commercialized version of it. It's more about content and so on, and it's I grew up with my nanny who's raised quite religiously as well, and I drop a prayer here and there as well, and that's it. I feel very blessed in a lot of sense, but I think that in combination with the universe, I think, if you put it out there, you also got to work hard for it. You don't just put it out there and expect it. And you put it out there and you work hard for it. And I think it's more about attracting the opportunities more than it is about attracting the actual thing it is you want. So when you get the opportunity, then it shows. Then you got to go work for it. So yeah, I had Martin on the front of my phone. For like months. I was in New York. I was living in New York, and I was staying with a friend. He was like, "Why have you got him on the front of your phone?" He actually thought it was Sting. I was like, "Nah, it's Martin McDonagh." And I remember Martin texting me then, emailing me and saying, "I'd love you to be a part of my movie." I was like, "Oh my God, Martin McDonagh just emailed me." So I went and met him up in Midtown in New York, and up until literally he walked in, I remembered I should take him off my phone. He was still on the front of it. So he would have been sitting there and he would have seen his face pop up and went away. This kid is insane. But yeah, I told him and he laughed about it, whatever. But that is just one of the things that I tend to do. And I mean, it's that kind of thing. If you want something, just go fight for it. Or go. If it's not right for you, it's not right for you. But I'm not a believer in sitting and expecting and waiting for stuff to happen for me.
I can't imagine being such a fan and then getting cast in the movie. Did you put like any extra pressure on yourself for those first few days on set when Martin is first getting to know you and watching you work? Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
a little more in your head.
Yeah, you will be. I mean, that's what any director kind of, and especially anyone that you admire. Like the first line, the first kind of thing is always, you're like, am I going to be recast? Or, but when I done it and he's like, oh, brilliant, I'm like, oh, great, okay, past that then, But I think that's what keeps you going and keeps you on top of your game. Is he's bringing you onto this movie to bring a certain level of something. So you got to show up with that.
I thought, listen, the movie's fantastic. What was it like, actually? Can you talk a little bit about, like, is there a day or two that you'll always remember from being on set with Colin or Brendan or Martin? Just one of those days that you know what I mean? Like a special day.
There is many of them days, always with Colin, always, chats we get into and stuff like that. I remember one day with Brendan, Brendan likes to play the violin. I remember there was a group of Irish dancers, I think there, and we were all waiting in the tent. Wind is going insane. We're on the coast. You couldn't be any more Irish. And Brendan starts playing the violin, and when the lads start, dancing away, and I'm just like, fucking hell, man. This is insane, but totally wrapped up in that traditional Irish kind of culture, that music, and and Brendan is just he's just fascinating. What a man as well, and just to be amongst that and watch, apart from making this movie, we were involved in this little thing here, was, yeah.
You've worked with a number of very talented filmmakers, and I'm curious, who is the most relaxed on set and who is the one that is always hyper focused and like guardrails on, not joking around?
God, am I gonna get into trouble here?
Well, I'm not trying to get you in trouble, but you know what I mean.
Not to say that if you're not like super serious, that you're not a good director. So no, but they all are. I mean, they all have their own seriousness about them and their own way of getting something across, and that is what makes them great directors. Not only that they make great films, but how they communicate with their actors and that. So Yorgos is great and very, to the point of, stay still and stop moving, and and Emerald is she'll come up there and she'll go through the scene with you and the beats with you, and Martin is a great way of, just humanizing the characters. That's the best way I can put that. Wherever he does, he, gets that across. That makes this person real rather than playing the kind of animated version of it or whatever. And then Christopher Nolan is, very, you're on a Christopher Nolan set, so that says it all. And they all have their own ways. They all have their own ways, but have a great understanding of, their actors and actresses and how they communicate with them, and are very, very gentle. So
what is Martin like in terms of the notes he gives you on a performance? Say you're filming a scene, you're doing something with Colin. What
yeah.
is does he give you like a long note, or does he pull you aside and say a little less? Or like, what is he like in terms of the notes he wants to give
We
you?
had that thing as well. We were like, I'd go a bit big and he'd be like, less, and when your director approaches you with a smile, and it's a genuine smile, and he's not just trying to get the day going on, and it's like, all right, we have to move on. When Martin's happy, that is the best feeling in the world. Like, it's just insane, like, because you are in safe hands with Martin McDonagh, and wherever you say in that dialogue and whatever the beats are, that you are in good hands. So when he is happy, it's just the best feeling in the world.
Colin and Brendan are phenomenal actors. What is it like as an actor? Are you always looking at other people's performances that you admire for like little things that you can borrow in terms of the way they work on set, or you know what I mean? Like, because it's like getting a master class up close.
It is, funny you said that. I was actually, when I was doing the scene, I was like, I'm with Brendan Gleeson, Colin Farrell, and Kerry, and
Sure.
these three are just like, they are Ireland's kind of it, if you get me. That's, to be in that crew and that company is just amazing. And Martin as well, like, watching him direct them. I remember I was just at, I think it was the pub scene where I wasn't really in it that much, but I was there and I was watching all of them, go back and forth. And it was that moment of, you are witnessing, a masterclass here. But in terms of borrowing, you're always just kind of looking for, I'm always looking for what's the kind of, what is it? What is it that we're trying to do that we can get across that is the most, makes the audience relate so much? Is it being raw? Is it being real? Is it being, vulnerable? What is it like? And I'm trying to figure that out. Is it the behaving part? Is it, I'm always trying to figure that out. And that's the beauty of it as well, is I'm always trying to, learn from the craft and what it is that we do. How can we take it another level up? So I'm always watching.
I am really looking forward to Masters of the Air, which is another thing that you've done. What can you tease people about it?
I can't really say that much about it. Other than, getting to work with Austin and Callum Turner was amazing as well. But I can't really go into detail.
I
don't want to spoil anything. I think it's yeah.
No, it's totally fine. Obviously, I am so curious what you can talk about and what you can reminisce about working with Matt Reeves, because I am a huge fan of Matt, and I loved The Batman. Just loved.
Thank you. Yeah, Matt's amazing. I mean, again, it's sort of like you go into a numbness when you're there, because you forget, like, you're just working with, again, but another great director. We're communicating with what he wants in the most delicate way, and making you understand. And that's the most important thing for me, is being able to understand what my director wants. But he's just amazing. He was so on board with me, and same with Dylan Clark, and getting to do the scene with Rob, Rob and Paul Dano was just, again, master classes.
Were you happy that that deleted scene got released? Because it was, yeah, like, I mean, that's a big scene to get to get cut.
No, yeah, very. You always want your work to get released. If it makes sense. But again, they wouldn't have released it if they didn't think it made sense. And again, I just wanted people to kind of see my take on it, and I'm blessed as well that I got to do a portrayal of that.
I have to ask you, what is it like playing an iconic character like that in terms of what you're reading and what you're watching before stepping on set? Because the amount of, many people have done the role, and everyone has a different take on it, and there's no right or wrong. It's just your interpretation of this iconic character.
Again, yeah, it is. It's very, very intimidating, Heath Ledger was the best for me. He's just, yeah. So you have a lot of people to draw from, and that. But again, no, like, you bring your version to it. And that's what I love about any character I play, is no one has seen my version of it. And again, going back to, I don't want to be like so and so and follow that method and that method. I want to do me. I want to bring my version, because I feel that is new in a way, and unique. That when you bring your version, no one has seen it, and that may make people relate to it, or yeah. So it was intimidating, but I was excited for it.
Yeah, I think The Batman's one of the best films of the year. I think Matt just destroyed it. And also Giacchino's soundtrack, the way he used the Nirvana song, like the Pattinson's performance, list goes on and on. I can just keep on, the cinematography. I can keep going.
Right. Yeah.
What was it like for you being a part of a movie like that and watching it for the first time? Are you able to enjoy it as like an audience member, or are you just thinking about, you know what I mean? Like, how is it for you?
I mean, watching any movie you're a part of is quite hard. I bet when you watch, these clips back, it's hard to look at yourself, right? Or even listen to yourself. But yeah, it's a learning experience. You watch movies and you learn. I don't ever watch a movie and be like, yes, nailed it. Or you obviously look at the film as a whole as well, but I'm constantly learning on what I can make a bit more truthful, or what I could have done, and not to be too critical upon yourself either, but just kind of, to make it a learning experience and not dissect it too much.
Sure. I loved Promising Young Woman. And Emerald is obviously such a talent behind the camera.
Right.
Yeah, what was it like working? You touched on it a little bit, that you prepared a lot for the role. What was it like working with her, and what can you tease about the movie?
She's just amazing. I really mean that. I had a lot of fun with her, and such a great person as well. Always there for me, and has been. And just and she's an actress. She gets it. She gets it. She really does. So when you have a problem, or when she's just, I really mean it. She's by your side. She's dragging you through it. She's like, let's do it. We're doing it together. So it was a really collaborative experience that I felt like, we were in it together. Because she totally understands. And I think it's going to be, this script was just amazing. And she done a great fucking job. Yeah, I don't want to give too much away. And the cinematography as well, Venus, it just looks like a painting.
I can't wait. I mean, seriously, but for anyone who's
watching, amazing, let me tell you.
Yeah, no, Promising Young Woman's incredible. And so obviously that's like a fucking great movie. And so obviously I want to see whatever she's going to do next. What are you thinking about? Do you already know what you're doing in the coming months or the coming year in terms of the work you're getting ready to do?
Well, I just, I'm being quite picky, and I think I just want to be, I want to be very, very selective on what I do. And, I never kind of chase projects for certain reasons, other than, is there something challenging there for me, or can I do something fresh with it, or, I really like this director, or etc. But I've got a son now, Brando, and he's 8 weeks old. And
congratulations!
Thank you. And we had him on 5th of August when I was filming in night shoots with Saltburn, and he's just amazing. And we went to the cinema last night in New York. We only got his passport, so we went to the cinema last night. His first time in the cinema, and on the wall was Brando, the name Brando. And I was like, wow. Honestly, it was just like, he's not going to be an actor. He's not going to be an actor. No way. But I think spend time with my son. I'm excited for that. It's a whole new experience. And but in terms of what I'm going to do next, yeah.
I'll leave it there. Listen, man, I really mean it. Congrats on everything that's been happening.
It's always good to talk to you. You're a legend.
I don't know about that, but I'm going to say that I really do appreciate the amount of time today. And whatever I can do to help you promote your work, let me know, because we have at least 10 followers on Collider. We're doing okay.
You're a legend, man. You're a legend. Going back to the Dunkirk days, legend.
Completely. Hey, listen, thank you so much, for real.
All right,
And
bro.
good luck with the rest of your speed dating today.
Go on. Thank you. Have a good day.